So, good evening. Good evening. We are back again. Podcast settings, people. Big up to everybody waiting in the chat. Over 200 of you. Make sure you are smacking these likes up. Even if you're watching on playback, that would be nice. Jez, how you been, man? How was your Sunday?
Yeah, good. Still got no Sky TV. Don't have any till Wednesday. And it's blowing a hoolie out here again tonight. So God knows what that dish is going to do tonight. Watched the Wolves Leicester game today. Good game. I had to watch it on
a totally legal stream.
Yeah, I've actually subbed to it yesterday, and it's good. It's really good. It's bang on the second. It's being streamed from. I'm sure it's Sky. I'm sure it is.
Is it a YouTube channel?
You can get it on YouTube. It's called Bing Sport, and I subscribe. It's
I've heard of that. Bing Sport. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, $10.
Bing Sport.
No, Bing. Bing.
Bing. It's good.
It's really good. Now.
And it's $10 it's $30 for 3 months, and then you can cancel. So it's like $7.45 a month, and you get anything. You can get boxing, you can get baseball, all the European leagues if you want, Premier League. It's quite good actually, and it's to the second. There's no lag, nothing.
That's quality.
It's British commentary from Sky Sports, because yesterday when I watched the our game, it was Smudger Smith and whoever the other guy was. So it's all being done through Sky. And yes, it's good. So I watched that today.
No, it's good, man. Yeah, there was plenty of goals today as well. Man United winning 4-2 as well. How was your Sunday, Kenny?
You know what? I'm still smarting because you get yourself up for I think I need to stop taking boxing too seriously and stop investing in my fighters. So, massive Dylan White fan, Ashley Joshua fan, like Tyson Fury, Anime Khan, and I was, so invested in him winning yesterday because I'm not much of a Kell Brook fan, and I got it wrong. A lot of people were telling me no, Kell Brook's going to smash him, and he did. So it was a bit of a climax, but in terms of like the whole weekend, Arsenal won, which I'm happy with, and my satellite dish was messing about a bit because there was a massive wind and rain. But apart from that, I'm good. Still, when football's on, I'm laughing.
Yeah, happy days, and there's been plenty. We're going to start with Aubameyang. He's scored a hat-trick today. He's got away from the shackles of Mikel Arteta and bagged his first hat-trick for the biggest club on the planet. And he has equalled Alexander's total season tally in the league in one game. Kind of crazy, really, when you think about it, because a lot of our fans were saying he's washed up, he's finished, he's not a great striker anymore, this, that, and the other. And then he goes and bags a hat-trick. The third goal could have been given to, I think it was Pedri, but the ref gave it to Aubameyang. I haven't seen the goal, so I don't know exactly what happened, but either way, he's still bagged a hat-trick, and we're crying out for goals, and we let him go, man. Is this going to come back and bite us, Jez?
Well, as an Arsenal fan, it sums up Arteta. Let's be fair. I mean, for God's sake, you couldn't make it up, could you? We let the best striker in the club go for nothing to Barcelona. Certainly one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he bangs a hat trick, and yet we're left with lack of threat and Eddie, who couldn't score a goal from 5 yards and hit a bloody barn door. So Arteta, well done, another nice bit of business. You pissed another player off, and let's be fair, Aubameyang came out of it not in so many words, but he, gave the inside information there, if you read it, that he went because of Arteta. Yeah. And it just sums it up. When I saw that, I thought, dear God, what are we becoming? It's a graveyard at Arsenal, to be fair. Yeah, we had a great game. We played well yesterday, but we'll come on to that. But my God, this guy, Arteta, yeah, and I'll just say this. last night in my fan cam, some guy came in and said, well, Lacazette got both assists. So I said, well, please explain. And then another fella came in and said, yes, please explain. Well, the little muppet hasn't come back and explained. So if you're going to come in and make a comment, and when you're talking to the real ones, i.e. Kenny, Lee, myself, if you make a comment, have an argument, have a structure, because otherwise go back down your bloody rabbit hole, get on your laptop, play with yourself while you're looking at Arteta and shut the hell up. Because it's pathetic. I'm quite happy to have a debate with a person who's got a brain. But most of the people that make the inane, stupid, childish little comments just sums up that you are childish little idiots. So shut up, get down your rabbit hole and play with yourself looking at Arteta.
There you go, spot on. And that's the point. Listen, at the end of the day, like, people look at games through stats these days. It drives me crazy. Yeah, that first goal, Lacazette was in the centre circle. I'm not having that as an assist. That's a pass. It's a pass. No. It's not like he's jinked round 4 and put it straight on a plate for a 1-yard tapping. Come on. Yeah, like, it's not an assist. People will counter-argument that and say, yeah, but if you score a banger from 45 yards, is that still a goal? Well, of course it is. It's different. Yeah, goals are goals. You know, all this assists and pass accuracy and all that load of rubbish, man. Lacazette was not great yesterday. Yeah, I thought he was all right, but he wasn't great. And the fact that he is a goal scorer, or supposed to be a goal scorer, that don't actually score any goals is kind of crazy, man. Like, that was Aubameyang's first start for Barcelona today, and he bagged 3 goals. You know, and people say, "Oh well, it was just it's going to be one of them, and he'll flop and he'll fall away." He won't. It's amazing what happens when he plays in his right position. And you actually have a structure around him that plays to him and his strengths. You know, Valencia are not an easy team to go away and slap up 4-1. It's mad. What did you make of it, Kenny?
Oh, I was very pleased for Pierre, because, you know, I always felt that, you know, when you get to Barcelona, it's not the fact that it's a club Barcelona. That's a given. But it's a football they play. They play beautiful football, play attacking football. You know, they're always on the front foot. You know, they've still got very good players. So he's going to thrive, and he's going to score goals, you know, and he's got a plan as well, because, you know, they're going to want to get into that top 4. So, you know, when you see what Oba's doing, you know, he's got faith from his managers, he's got faith from his new fans, and then you look at what we got at Arsenal. It just shows you one thing, right? That Arteta really, really has to get it right this season in terms of Lacazette. And, you know, let's face it, they're going to get in this late in the programme, but you see what he did today, and then you see what we saw yesterday from Laka, and then you've got Eddie that come on the bench. It's pretty depressing, you know that. It really is depressing in terms of, and fearful as well, because, you know, we'll say it once, say it 1,000 times, and we're never going to stop repeating it. It's going to repeat itself as well. There's loads of big games where you think, you know, if we just need that little bit of quality, you know, just someone who could put the ball in it, that could be the difference where we finish. You know, because if we carry on like we are and just rely on a bit of snippets and keep relying on Smith Rowe and Xhaka, we're not even going to get Europa League, because you only have to look at the benches of Man United today. Look at, you know, how well Spurs played in terms of like the cutting edge. Wolves today, you know, they're going to be. We're going to get to that as well. So we're talking about rivals that got cutting edge, and we seem to be the only ones without the cutting edge. But so defending, make yourself difficult to beat, ain't going to get you top 4. And not having Oba in that mood is going to hurt us. And, you know, it makes the decision favourable. But, you know, all bets are off as far as Mattel's concerned. So the ball is back in Mikel. All I've got to say to them is make sure that you're backing the right horse, and we get to a situation where we might be playing on a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Yeah, mate, I totally agree. The fact is, we can't be just reliant on Smith Rowe and Xhaka. I know they both turned up, scored yesterday, right, which is great, and they were both cracking goals, right? But the fact is, when they don't, yeah, and bear in mind, one of them's been sat on the bench for a few weeks because Martinelli's been playing. So I mean, he's only back in the team because he didn't want to start Pepe. It's the only reason that Smith Rowe got back in the team. And now he's got a dilemma, this manager. Does he put Martinelli back in or does he keep Smith Rowe in there? No, Pepe came on and looked lively yesterday, but we can't rely on just them. We need 3 or 4, 5 players in this team that can score goals. I mean, look at Man United
we can
today.
do is that, you know, we could, you know, there's talk of Pepe playing up top, which he's more than capable of doing because he's got a quick feet and he can create something out of nothing. Or there's talking about, you know, dropping Lacazette and playing Martinelli up front, which I think something that is favourable to quite a lot of people just for a change because we're not getting output, the right kind of output from Aubameyang, you know, Lacazette. All right, he might score the odd goal here and there, but with about 15 games to go, was it 15 or 14 games? 15 games to go. We're going to need more than your goal from him.
That's it, exactly. No, I totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Big up to 680 people watching live right now. Make sure you are smashing these likes up as well, people. Quick question for you, Kenny, from Mr. Pads. Have you ever had a conversation with British boxing historians like Tommy Dix? It would be nice to hear you talk about the history of British boxing.
I would definitely like to do it because, you know, the British boxing it's got a rich pedigree. But I think what's happened is that it's only become, you know, like noticeable and then, like I said, been open to the masses because of, let's face it, fighters like Frank Bruno, Ben Eubank, and, you know, the fact that BBC didn't have the monopoly of big fights themselves. So, you know, with ITV getting involved, it made British boxing more attractive. Then Sky got involved, and then we now know the boxers off by heart. So, terribly on the casuals.
Yeah.
Like Lee.
Like me, I am a casual. I'm not even going to make any bones about it. Although I did predict 6th round did knock him out. So I got kind of lucky. I wish I put a bet on it. Big up to Victor Liang as well. It says big up Jez, Kenny, and my guy Lee. Abed, well done to Barcelona. Arteta, another clueless signing. Jez, I agree with you. Arteta is absolutely terrible. And yes, he is. But listen, there's a couple of schools of thought on this manager, right? People are going to be gassing this up if we get top 4, right? In a way, I want him to get top 4 because he's going to get sacked if he does, because he's going to have his pants pulled down all around Europe when we get there. Yeah, if we don't get top 4, people are going to be gassing it up anyway. Anyway, because it's an improvement on last season if we finish above 8th. That's how people are going to see it. So it's a win-win for this manager in terms of fan base. Yeah, it's not a win-win for him if he gets top 4 because he ain't going to do nothing in Europe. Yeah, what top strikers and players are going to want to come to us, right? When Man United need 2 strikers in the summer because theirs are nearly 40 each one. Man City will be one another striker. Yeah, because the boy that they've got coming in from Brazil or wherever it is surely not going to be the only striker they sign in the summer. Chelsea will probably offload a couple of players and need another striker because Lukaku's not really done it so far and they'll want something else. Then you look at Liverpool. They've already signed a player who scored yesterday, but they're going to try and strengthen again. Then you've got all the other top teams around Europe. Why, if you're a top player, are you going to want to come to Arsenal over all of them clubs? Because if you're that great as a player, them clubs will be in for you, surely, Jez.
Exactly. I've been saying this. I've been saying this as Kenny has, and you have, Lee. What is there to attract a top, and I mean elite? I won't say world class, but I will say elite striker to Arsenal with this manager. And yeah, people hate me in podcasts, my fan cams, whatever, because I don't like Arteta. I don't like Arteta. The man is an arrogant prick, and he's proving it. He is proving it. Yeah, with what more justification does it take that we get rid of the best striker at the club? He goes over to Spain and bangs in 2 goals and gets a 3rd given to him by the ref off his back. Well, I don't care how any goal is scored. He can play it off his bloody arse if he wants. But he scores a goal. You know, it's a goal. Who cares? I'm not into stats, how he did it and whatever. The guy was a class striker. He proves that when he first came here. But we can all see, once Arteta got involved, he declined. He got pissed off of him. And I reckon the reason he got pissed off of him because Aubameyang, I think, is a very strong, confident character. And he fell out with Arteta probably more than 1 or 2, 3 times and told him to stick it. Now, Arteta, being the little pussy that he is and the arrogant little boy, said, well, you ain't played for my team no more. You sit on the bench. And that's what he does. And we can see it yesterday. Again, he's standing there, directing aircraft and making windmills. What does it mean?
After he's had 9 days to prepare for that game, by the way, and then he's micromanaging all the way through it. So what have you done for 9 days?
Exactly.
Makes no sense. You don't see Graham Potter doing this or any other manager doing this. Pep just sits there like this.
Well, I watched that Wolves game today, right? Yeah, I watched that. Now, fair enough. It was peeing down with rain. The wind was horrendous, but you had Brendan Rodgers standing there like that. He wasn't doing all this. He was standing there. He made the odds do this or whatever. Wolves manager, quite clearly, he's got his team set up. He's quite happy. And he's sat in his dugout. Bit like Graham Potter at Brighton.
Yeah.
And that's why I was at Brighton. I saw Graham Potter, look at Arteta and think, what the hell are you doing? I'm sorry, I don't rate. It's not personal against Arteta. I don't know the man. I've never met him. I've seen him play on many occasions, but he is not the manager for Arsenal. And yet we continually get the love for this man. And tell me why. Somebody, please tell me why. I'd love to know because
I can tell you. The simple reason is that reason why Arteta's getting so much love is because the simple reason is that things apparently were so bad under Unai Emery.
Well, really?
They're worse than catastrophic. I mean, I'm always going to say it once and say it 1,000 times. I'm not going to try saying it. I don't know how one man who was here for barely 18 months, he was responsible for all of our ills at this football club, and to a certain extent that the guy before him wasn't the problem, and the guy after him isn't the problem. And I think what's happened is that's how it's been sold by certain people who should know better, people who claim to know football and get paid exorbitant amounts of money for their footballing opinion. And I'm not just talking about ex-players. I'm talking about super fans. They're part of the problem. Then you've got what's happening as well. You've got people from, dare I say it, who again think they know better when they don't really have the experience of all three of us in terms of Arsenal history and footballing knowledge. But because they sound great, they listen to them. So they try to, all of a sudden, the reason why Arteta gets a buy is because some of our pork chops in the fan base and Wazzocks are businessmen all of a sudden. You need to calm down because we don't have the cash revenues of all our rivals. And we've got to remember it was a rebuilding project because of the Emirates. So we've got the accountants in us. Then we've got people who want to be patient. So of course Arteta is going to get a look in. One good game, i.e. the FA Cup final against Chelsea, winning at Old Trafford, we can see what Arteta is doing. We're playing through the line. We are more compact. Everyone knows their jobs. We're very different. We press a lot, and then you see the other rubbish on Twitter. Oh, if we just get an elite striker, we move. That's why Arteta gets a buy, because we've got people who are basically, how to say it, suckers. In terms of being sucked in by Arteta, and because they're getting sucked in, we've all got to be sucked in. So we're not allowed to criticise him. And then what will happen is that when results go south, it's our fault. We wanted Arsenal to lose because to be proved right, or it's all to do with other situations like, oh, you've got to give him time. Rome wasn't built in a day. They say they won't never accept that how do I say it? Our what do you call it? Transition is never going to end. It's never going to end as long as Arteta is a manager, and as long as the Cronkies are here. We're going to be like probably Liverpool going 30 years without a title, and Man United going was it 26 years without a title, and that's being generous. Who knows? All three of us may never see Arsenal win a title, because as long as we have fans and Arsenal stuffy image, then Arteta will always prosper at this club as long as he wants. It won't be a case of us sacking him. It'll be a case of us dumping us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Totally agree.
The thing is, you're right what you said, Kenny. Yeah, like a couple of good results, like one being the FA Cup final, one being the semi-final before that to get to the final, and then obviously beating United at Old Trafford. Which, by the way, I know you guys will remember this. El Neni running around in stoppage time pressing, and our fans going, "Give him a new contract. Give him a new contract." Remember that? Yeah. Funny how things change, because he's leaving in 4 months for nothing. Another one that's walking out for free. What I wanted to ask you guys, right? Let me start with you, Jez. Is that I've seen so many fans sitting on social media recently, since Aubameyang has left and since the January window shut, saying we've cleared up, I think, 45 million quid off of the wage bill. And since when have our fans become accountants and mathematicians? Like, it's about winning football matches on a regular basis and competing for the top honours. We're currently sixth, right? And listen, our fans would have been sat there yesterday thinking, well, Tottenham are going to lose. Yeah, they'll be sitting there saying, oh, Leeds United might cause United a problem. Well, that didn't happen, did it, lads? Because Harry Kane turned into Harry Kane of old, didn't he? You know, even at 2-2, when my boy Mahrez scored in his 9th straight game of this season, by the way, in all comps. Has anyone else done that this season? I don't think they have. But yeah, when he equalised in the 92nd minute, everyone was probably sitting there laughing their nuts off on Twitter and all these other platforms. Go, they bottled it. And then bang, Harry Kane, 95th minute. So it's all well and good sitting and laughing and saying about wage bill this and wage bill that. I don't care about the wage bill. It's about now. You know, it's about now. It's about winning. I don't care about next season or the season after or the season after. You know, how long does this go on for? People say, oh, you need to be patient. Well, it's been 18 years. We smashed the stadium down to compete. Yes, I don't get it, Jez. Why do you think there's so many fans like that, Jez, that just like, it's all about, you know, talking about the wages and, you know, we freed up this, and if we can just get 2 strikers in the summer, that's it, we can compete. Like, are they deluded? Are they just doing it for some kind of traction online? What is it, mate?
Well, I'm sorry, but it strikes me that all these people that make these stupid, inane comments, they are little trolls who want, you know, I don't get involved with all this stuff on the internet, you know, to be honest. And, you know, before anybody says, it's not because I'm old. I actually do know quite a bit, you know, and I can maneuver my way around, but it's because they want to be liked. Oh, I've said this. Give me 1,000 likes. Oh, now I'm big at Arsenal. Oh yeah, you've never fucking been, mate. So shut your mouth, you know. And I'm sorry, I don't give a shit about the wage bill, because Arsenal Football Club can afford the wage bill. I don't look at the wage bill. I don't care. You know, if Aubameyang was getting whatever he was getting, 350,000 a week, good luck to him. Good luck to him. All the time he's slotting goals, you can pay him whatever you want. I don't give a shit. It was the same with Ozil. When Ozil signed that contract, a different character, I believe, and I think he was probably as arrogant as Arteta is. And again, there's probably another fallout there. Now, let's be fair, that Ozil, I think, did get lazy. And once he got that big contract, and he basically hung up his boots. But you're right, Lee. These idiots, and I will call them idiots, that sit there piping their stories, talking absolute complete crap, thinking that they are big on Arsenal. Well, I'm sorry, you little girls and boys that make these comments. You're not. Get back down your rabbit hole and shut up, because you know you don't know what you're talking about. come and talk to me and Kenny and Lee and have a proper adult conversation, and we'll have a discussion. And as Lee has quite rightly said, if you've got something to say, get on camera and show your face and talk to us, and go on other people's channels. Go on Del Boy's channel. Go on Gracie May's channel.
Big up to Del Boy and Gracie.
You know,
both in the chat. Big up to both of them. Subscribe to both people.
You know, go on all. There's so many platforms you can go on and have an open, intelligent. And when I say intelligent, I mean be able to construct an argument where you have a foundation, where you can actually discuss it without crying, without getting upset, without slagging people off, and do it. Because I'll tell you now, all three of us here would be open for that.
Yep.
And if you have an argument that you can actually put together in a constructive way, then do it. Now, I've got off the point there a bit, but yes, you're right, Lee, because all the time we have these idiots sat in the background giving fuel to the fire, and it is fuel to the fire for Arteta being here. You are quite correct. It could be. I mean, I'm 60 now. I don't know. I'd love to see Arsenal win another title. I might not. I might never see. I don't know. You know, I mean, like all of us here, you know, something could happen and we could all pop off. Who knows? But you know, it's a sad indictment of the club fan base. And you know, I watched a few fan cams on a different channel yesterday, and it's an absolute joke.
Circus, mate. That's what it is. We've got the best young squad in the world, apparently.
Apparently.
Where do these people come from? Honestly, where do they find them?
Odegaard is world class.
Yeah, he's world class at disappearing in football matches, Jez.
Well,
he was man of the match yesterday.
Well,
apparently so. I don't know where they got that from.
If he's world class, it's not football, so it must be something else. Maybe he's world class at snooker, and we don't know. So, you know, come out of it, Odegaard. Let us know, because yes, you had a good game yesterday, and I gave you a good player.
He did play well. He did play well, but he weren't man of the match. Thomas Partey was miles better than him yesterday.
It was levels, but you know, I'm sorry, when you pay money like that for a midfielder, I don't expect it to be 1 in 10 games. I expect it to be every sodding game. And the classic comment, oh, Lacazette worked hard. Well, I'm sorry. Once you put that jersey on, once you put that on and you're playing for the badge, of Arsenal Football Club, I expect everybody to work hard, And I'm not going to get into how much he's getting paid, because I don't care whether he's getting a £5 a week or he's getting 200 grand a week. I expect you to play for that badge, the honour of playing for Arsenal Football Club that many, many brilliant players over the years have done, and have not been as illustrious, but they've been fantastic. So, you know, shut your mouths, you little muppets, and go away, go and hide, go down the lane, whatever you want to do, but leave this club alone.
100%. Well said, mate. And the thing is as well, right, is that I see so many people sitting on social media with this narrative of everything's rosy in the garden. It's all great. You know, that comment I want to find. Big up to Jack as well, man. Big up to everyone who's put a donation in. If I don't read them, I have replied to every single one in the comments, sometimes it just cut the flow of the show. So, but listen, I do appreciate each and every one of you that does it. If you don't, I appreciate you watching, and just smack a like on the video. It's equally as important, and thank you very much. But yeah, big up to Jack. His backstory. I told Kenny Brooke would smash Khan to bits, and I told him if Brooke wins, I'll be blagging it in a super chat. Big up to you, Jack. Appreciate it, man.
Right, sorry, I'm on a rant tonight, but I'm in a.
Nah, come on, Jez. You're on the wine. I'm on the water. Kenny's probably on the Ribena.
No, I decaf.
I'm wound up by these little people.
This is the thing, though. It's like they sit there and like comments like this. Where is it? This comment. This guy called yesterday's win. Yeah, this guy from Le Grove called yesterday's 2-1 win at home to 14th place Brentford, who, by the way, have lost 7 on the spin. A statement win. A statement for what? I'll tell you what was a statement win. Man City getting beaten by that lot in Tottenham.
Yep.
That was a statement win. Yeah, after they've stopped the rot of 3 straight losses. Yeah, that was a statement because they could have easily gone there and got battered. Yeah, and they didn't.
That guy there, that John was calling out, he's just one of those people that I go after now. They're one of those people who are classic, who are good guys, and that who get recommended for their blogs and their vlogs. And let's face it, they manage to amass a massive following on what I call like dodgy foundations in terms of their football knowledge, but because they come from a marketing background, they'll come out with financial knowledge. So they seem clever, and then they write all these things, show it, and they're quite passionate, but they talk about their knowledge of the players. You ask them about David Price and Will Fosteren, I'll tell you one thing, they'll squirm. They wouldn't know about them, people like that. But, what exemplifies the stupidity and the utter protection towards Arteta, and it really wound me up, is the way that they're now going after Thierry Henry. Now, Thierry Henry is the best player that's ever played in the Premiership. Obviously, he's the best. For me, he's the best player that ever played for us. But obviously, we're going to go. You guys go for Dennis, and a lot of people, the majority have gone for Dennis, and they probably put Chippy in there as well. But the situation is that Thierry Henry comes from the same kind of space as we do. We come from a good space. Just because we use words like Wazzards, pork chops, and call Arteta a prick. The reason why we use words like Wazzards, pork chops, and call Arteta a prick, or you call him like the Spanish, Pulis, is because we don't have affiliations to any of the players or affiliations to Arteta or the Cronkies. It's about the club and making sure that the club of our status and our history acts like it and gets the results on the football field, gets the results that can enable us to compete for the highest trophies. Tuesday and Wednesday, that's going to be our 5th year without Champions League football. All those big games in Europe are happening without us. Even the Conference League, we're not in. We're not even in the Europa League. And people want to say Arteta. So when you've got one of the best players in our history, who, by the way, is qualified to say, to actually demand the high standards, because guess what? He played in a Champions League final. He won FA Cups. He won leagues for Arsenal. He was touted as World Footballer of the Year at Arsenal. And he played with Vieira, Petit, players like Gilberto. He played with players like David Seaman, Tony Adams, all those sort of great players, Dixon, Lauren, all these excellent players. So obviously, the only standards he knows at Arsenal is a winning mentality. So of course he's going to demand it. Of course he's going to say Arsenal not being a top 4 is going to be like a wasted season. What is wrong with that? So you try and tell me that Arteta and protecting this guy's arse is more important than actually listening to one of our greatest players. And I'm not saying it because Thierry Henry said it. It's because he came from a good space. Now, we could all be like, ex-players can all be like Ian Wright and Martin Keown. But let's forget Martin Keown. Let's talk about Ian Wright, because there's a lot of fans who generally believe that Ian Wright is a greater player than Henry.
What?
Yeah, they generally believe that. And some of these people have only supported Arsenal because of Ian Wright, not because of the beauty of our great club. So
same with Wenger. They supported us because of Wenger, or because of...
So Ian Wright is one of the biggest chameleons out there. I mean, when he went to West Ham, he was telling everyone he had a West Ham shirt as a kid. And then in another interview, he supported Millwall. So
this is Robbie Keane all over. It's been a dream to play for this club at every club he's been at.
There's no doubt Ian Wright is, will go back for us, and he's probably like the mainstream version of some of the people in the fan camps. A couple of people we already know. But the thing is, Ian Wright will never, ever call out the club, because when Aubameyang signed his contract, who did they wheel out? Ian Wright. Whenever there's anything massive happen with the Arsenal Football Club, I Arsene Wenger's, like I said, tour. Who's ruled that? Alex Scott and Ian Wright. So Ian Wright is never ever gonna come from a good space because one, he's got that kind of like 1980s childlike mentality towards Arsenal, and two, he's paid by the club.
Yeah,
and that's just a fact. So you're never going to hear his opinion. You're never going to hear his opinion. And there's other ex-players like that as well.
Keown's the same on TalkSport, mate.
Exactly.
Keown actually said on TalkSport a couple of months back, it was maybe October, November, and he actually was asked by a caller, phoned in and said, I've got your shirt from when you jumped all over Van Nistelrooy. You gave me your shirt, right, up at Old Trafford. He said, what's happened to you, mate? He goes, because then you had fire in your belly, you were hungry, you were playing for Arsenal Football Club and blah, blah, blah. He goes, now you've just basically turned into a guy that's sitting there defending every single thing this football club do and this manager does. And he went, well, I'm never going to publicly criticise the club. Well, why are you there then? Why are you sat on TalkSport then?
Don't go on the Arsenal channel and work for them. Don't go
exactly.
on like mainstream media on BT Sport and Talk Sport and then try and be generic. There's enough. What Roy Keane gives Man United pelters. Gary Neville gives them pelters. He doesn't sit on the fence. All right, they might sit on the fence about regarding Solskjaer, but they'd never ever, swayed away from high standards. They're ashamed of the fact that Liverpool and Man United, the two clubs that they hate, are levels above their precious Man United. When are our players, ex-players, going to come out and say this is wrong? That this 18 years without winning the league is wrong. Why is it Petit? Henry? Where's all the other players? Gilberto Silva's another one is a disappointment to me. And you've got Sagna as well was another disappointment. He was demanding the standards. Now he's been educated. Who's educating these people? You don't need a bloody education. Just look at our results. Look at the quality of players we've had in terms of decline. And that's your education. Your eyes. Not some theory, mathematical and economic theory, that you need to go to like Harvard for. Stop being pork chops and wazzicks and start saying as it is about this football club and demanding the best.
Pork chops, I love it.
And you're absolutely spot on, Kenny. And the comment, now I want to read this comment. I am digging this guy up. I'm not going to be rude to him there. Right? Where is he? That's not the comment I wanted. It's further back, same guy. There it is. There is a problem with all the red cards now and penalties. All the referees did a meeting against Arsenal. I don't want us to get screwed by this referee poor decisions all season because of this. Bro, whoever's telling you that there's an agenda against Arsenal and penalties and red cards, go and have a look back at all of the red cards that we've had under this manager. Every single one of them is deserved. And I'll tell you something now. Cedric yesterday was lucky he didn't even get booked for that tackle that he did. Yeah, that was a horrible tackle. He was lucky he never got booked.
Sorry to interrupt you. Mate, where did you get your fucking facts from? where did you get that information about all the referees having an FA Premier League meeting against Arsenal? Because you, mate, are a typical fucking snowflake. You're talking bollocks.
Exactly.
So don't come in here talking shit. Yeah? Come in here with a decent conversation because idiots like you are talking bollocks. Because if there was a meeting by the FA Premier League referees about Arsenal, it wouldn't be public. So do that. Sorry.
Exactly.
So it's all hearsay and it's come from narratives off of other channels. Yeah,
but it's grown men, right, who are old enough to have grandchildren going on like the sort of nonsense we did in the 80s when some of us were either getting into secondary school or still at the primary schools. I mean, when I was at Christ the King in Tottenham Park, one of the songs I used to always sing with, amongst all of us, we all agree Arsenal is magic, Liverpool is tragic. And we had words about Spurs, but I was about 8 or 9. I mean, these guys in their bloody, have got grown-up children, and they're going on like, oh, it's like seeing out of Carry On films. Infamy. They go, infamy. Well, come on. Seriously, man. I mean, stop. Why can't we just talk about the situation and say, you know what, we lost yesterday. It's a bad result. We need. There's like, how I say it, our objectives are to get to a certain place. We're not meeting them, and let's just admit it. Referees are always going to make mistakes, but when you've got VAR, the mistakes have been reduced, and it's like
no, but according to our fans, Kenny, the narrative from the majority of our fans that we see online, VAR has got it in for Arsenal. The refs are colluding together to damage Arsenal.
These are men. These are grown men who meant to be like visiting their grown-up children in the maternity ward when they're having their grandkids, not going on like third graders. I mean, as I said, infant school. You want him or primary school. Come on, let's just accept the situation and say, right, we've got to take one game at a time. We've got massive athlete games. We have genuine concerns. And let's, when we do get to the levels, then fine. We can just, walk out, shoulders out, chest out, and say, right, you know what? This club's at a right, level that we deserve. And now we can, compete for the league, compete for the top four. Or even if we do get in the top four, when we do get in there next year, I want a situation where we're going to try and win a Champions League. Like when Spurs were in it. When Spurs were in the Champions League, the minimal times they're in it, every season they try to win the bloody thing. Chelsea, when they're in the Champions League, try to win the bloody thing. Liverpool try to win the bloody thing. And the same with Man City. Even Man United try to win the bloody thing. It's only us who just want this procedure. And that's why people like you and Jez don't want us in it, because that we're just going to make up the numbers. I want to get past that.
100%. You're spot on, mate. You're spot on. And the problem is the standards of this football club have been lowered. People have come on here and they'll go, oh, why are you moaning? We won yesterday. I could not give two flying fucks if we won yesterday. What does that change? We're 20-odd points behind Man City, mate. Or 18 points behind Man City. I couldn't give a shit if we won yesterday because we ain't going to win the league. So all of this bullshit in between is irrelevant. It's irrelevant for me. We're going to end up getting a European spot maybe. Right? If we get Conference League, our fans are jizz. If we get Europa League, they'll jizz a bit more. And if we get Champions League, flipping hell, they'll be stuck to their bed sheets. Like, honestly, it'd be embarrassing. Yeah. And then we'll get into Europe and we'll go in straight into the group and we'll end up in a group with Barcelona or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, and we will get absolutely.
Yeah, you know what, Lee? If we got the Champions League and their mentality was, so what? We're as big as them. Let's go and try and beat them. I'll take it. I'll shake their hands.
Yeah, but they won't, Kenny. But we've got a 22-year manager at this football club that only once took that competition seriously. Yeah, once. That was the season he got to the final. And even then he nosed it up by putting fucking Ashley Cole back in at left back when we went all the way through that competition without conceding a goal with Flamini at left back. Yeah, and Ashley Cole weren't fully fit. He then fucked up with the substitution, taking off a goal scorer. Yeah, somebody that could score bags of goals. Yeah, when we had the red card. And it was like he totally fucked that final. Totally. And listen, Henry could have buried that chance and it would have been curtains, right? But his decisions were not great that day, Wenger. And there's no evidence to suggest in our entire history that we ever take European competition seriously. We don't. Chelsea have won three trophies under their manager now, and that's more than we have in Europe.
And for a club of our size, 2 European trophies, that's embarrassing.
Kenny, Tuchel's won 3 in 13 months at Chelsea. Yeah, it's mad. And people sit here and go, oh, you're moaning all the time. Yeah, we're a massive football club. And we're not going to go out there and be able to attract the players that we want with this manager. Ain't happening. Especially when you look at some of the way, and I've said this so many times, Matteo Guendouzi, sorry. Yeah, Guendouzi has gone to France, so has Saliba. Maitland-Niles is now in Italy. Different conversations with different players at different clubs. You've got all these other players that are out on loan or have come from other clubs and they've got mates at other clubs, like Pepe, for example, and Lacazette. They all have mates at all different clubs. They're all going to be texting. Yeah, come on. They're going to have conversations like we have conversations. They're going to be pals with people. Oh, how are you getting on? Oh, yeah, well, Arteta's did this. He fucking subbed me off the other day and he fucking argued with me and he pushed Eddie Nketiah and he did this and Pepe's fuming. Aubameyang's fucked off because of him. Who's going to want to come to this circus with this manager, mate? Let's be real.
Absolutely.
We're never going to get the top tier. We're always going to be 2 tiers down in terms of signing players. And that is Wenger's legacy, unfortunately, because he's lowered the fucking standards and our fans accept it.
But until we have a decent quality manager who players respect, and let's get it right, it's about a lot of people, players respected a manager. Until we have a top class manager who players respect, we're stuffed. Because I'm sorry, can you imagine? This is hypothetical. Erling Haaland, right? Yeah, Arsenal say, right, well, we'll 200 million, mate. Come to Arsenal, $500,000 a week, and you've got Arteta as your manager. Can you imagine what he'd say? Fuck off. Why would I want to play for you?
Yeah, it's true.
I've seen how you treat people. So why do I want you to come? Why do I want to come to Arsenal and you ruin my career? Because I don't care what anybody says, and I will be proven right. This guy is an absolute dictator. He's arrogant and he destroys players. And we can already see it in players that have come in and look brilliant and have started to fade into the corner. And I'm sorry, I've got to say it, it's him. Arteta, mate, you're a prick. And I've been saying it. Simple as. I don't care if anybody hates me, because that's my opinion.
You're not missing nothing. You're not missing nothing, mate. Because I'll tell you one thing, right? One thing we've learned in the last couple of years when we've had some really traumatic times, and we've witnessed some traumatic times for people who've been on this podcast and are no longer with us. It's actually a badge of honour if these lot don't like us anyway, because it was people like that who made the lives of our mates, close mates, like brothers, live in hell. So if they want to hate on us, feel glad, mate, because simple reason is that you guys, as far as I'm concerned, right, put being friends, having as many followers as you can, getting loads of likes, following the leader before human common decency. You know what I mean? I mean, who is going to threaten someone because they don't rate Arsene Wenger? Who's going to threaten someone and want to attack them at football because they don't rate Arteta? Seriously? But that's the level of human being, and I call them failed human beings that we're dealing with. So they're not missed. They're not missed anyway. They're the sort of people who haven't got a life. They just follow the leader, and there's some of these people on there just catfishes anyway. They get followers because people think that they're the people that they are online. But when you see them and meet them in person, you're not missing much. In fact, you'll be downright disappointed.
Yeah,
100%. Big up to everyone watching, man. Nearly 1,100 people in it. Make sure you are smashing the likes up. We're not even on 350 yet. Also, a question for Jez. It says, big up to Divish. It says, you shouldn't reply to these muppets that you've seen Arsenal win the league. Let the dogs bark. Which manager do you want, Jez? Love from India.
Simeone.
Thank you, buddy. Simeone, yeah?
Yeah, big up to you, mate. Simeone, all day long. He would sort this club out. No problem.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a top-class manager. He'd sort out the Muppets, and he would attract, with his track record, he would attract decent players. And until we have someone like that, then we're stuffed. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. This man, Arteta, and I say it again, it's not personal, he's just not a manager.
Yes, you see Newcastle. You see Newcastle. Forget the fact they got Eddie Howe. But you see what they did is that because they want to attract the best managers, the best players, they went and poached Brighton's director of, Brighton's transfer negotiator, director of football. Because apparently they've identified that, right, I'm paying the most money, so I'm going to try and get the best man. So, right, one of the best up and coming transfer negotiators and football men at Brighton, we're nicking him. And that shows genuine position. When has Arsenal ever done that? And when done that regarding a player, a manager, or people behind the scenes in order to give managers like Simeone and the big names a platform to succeed. Because that's why we won't get big name managers, because of the levels or lightweight levels of the people at the club. And I'm never going to tire of repeating this. You know, that is where a lot of people who want Cronkies to leave got a point.
Yeah, totally agree. I can't disagree with you, Kenny. And let's look at what Newcastle are achieving. You know, they're on a run. And I'll tell you what, mate, and I think you probably agree, is with the money they're going to have it at their disposal, they, in, I would say,
3 years.
3 years, mate, are going to be a
maybe not even that. 2 more seasons, maybe.
Didn't take Man City long to win their first trophy after they bought in, like late 2008.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
And I'll be honest, I love Newcastle. I love I love the city. I love 2 of my best friends are from Newcastle, and I love them to death. And they're great guys. They come on and they actually watch this channel, and I wish them all the best, because that is one football club with their support, which is phenomenal, deserve the best, and I wish them all the best. And I hope they succeed. I truly do. And they will be a major, major challenge in the next 2 or 3 years, without question.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, mate. 100%. This is a good comment as well. The fact that the squad is getting younger. I like the fact that the squad's getting younger. I was tired of lazy rich boys that played before. But I have a feeling that Edu and Arteta and Edu went to Project Youth because of cash saving and having an excuse for failure. That is exactly what we did. We deliberately went, let's go and buy the best young kids in the world, like Martin Odegaard. Well done, mate. Turn it in. Yeah, best young kid in the world. There's a couple of kids that run Barcelona's midfield that are about 5, 6 years younger than him, and their level's clear of him. 17-year-old today that was running the strings for Barcelona, yeah? Right, do you know what I mean? It's pathetic.
Lee, I've got one word for all these people who talk about our youths, and I'm not dumbing down on youths. This is come from a good space in terms of I want the highest of standards, and I think that our youth should be aiming for that standards. So I'm just to say one word: Cobham. When everyone talks about us having the best youth project, or that pork chop who wants to be famous going on the fan camps, talking absolute BS, BS, and he's even got you know what I mean. Let's face it, I don't want to incite violence, but if there was ever a face for slapping, that was that kid's face.
Oh, 100%.
It was absolute pork chops. I mean, had people around him, had proper football knowledge. So I just said one word, beginning with C and ending in M, Cobham. That shuts.
Well, I'm glad you've mentioned Cobham, because this young man said, watching Lee's show from the other week, where he said, where an Arsenal fan stated that Chelsea were only in the Champions League to make up the numbers. Yeah, then in May they win it. Yeah, this is exactly how our fans go on, unfortunately. Yeah, Chelsea weren't only in it to make up the numbers. Chelsea have always been very good in Europe, in the Abramovich era and even before. Yeah, so they've won a hell of a lot more. They actually won more trophies in Europe before Abramovich than we have in our history. Yep. Now add Abramovich and all the trophies they've won in Europe. They've always been a decent team in Europe. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, and unfortunately, we ain't going to be, because we don't take anything seriously. And our fans will change the narrative every single week. If we get slapped 7 by Bayern Munich, it'll be, oh, don't worry, we can still qualify because we've got to play FC Cluj next time. Who gives a fuck? Are we going to win it or not? No, but I don't want to be in it then. Yeah, at least have a go. If you're going to go with some intent and go, right, we're doing £250 million this summer, 50 million of that is on Simeone. Right? Then he's got £200 million to come and build his team this summer and have a proper go next season. Then yeah, cool, I'm up for that. If it's this manager, ain't interested. Yeah, if he gets it, he's getting sacked next season. There's a lot of people as well that say no way Simeone. I've seen so many people say this, yeah, in this chat and online. The guy won the league last season. The guy won the league in 2014 at Barcelona. He won the Copa del Rey the same season, so he done a double that season. And he did that, beating Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in the final. First time they've beaten him in 20 attempts. The guy wins in Europe. The guy gets to Champions League finals and was literally 1 minute away from winning it against Real Madrid as well before Ramos won it. Yeah, and then it capitulated after that, of course, but it would do, wouldn't it? You're 1 minute away from winning it.
They're in a bit of decline, and because they are playing Man United this week, and I suppose in terms of I'm sure if Man United turn them over, you're going to be in the mud because Man United beat Atletico Madrid. But they're kind of missing the point. The fact is that he's earned because of what he's done and what his success is a lot more recent than ours. He should be in the mix, but there's another name that I can think of as well. Because if the Man United players get what they want and get Pochettino, then that leaves Ten Hag available. Because would Ten Hag cut to Arsenal? Well, I was going to mention a certain ex-player of us who won the double, but apparently I think the male feminist in the fan base will kill me if I mention bringing him over as director of football.
I'd still
say no more.
Yeah, I'd still take him at the club, but there we go. Big up to everyone watching.
Male feminist is going to be after you.
Mate, I've been tried to be cancelled a million times, Kenny. It's water off a duck's back to me.
What I find strange is when people say Simeone's washed up. Well, let's get it right. That guy has won titles and done far more than Arteta.
He won the title last season, Jez, and they're saying he's washed up.
So, how can you how can you base that as an argument when we have a manager that has finished as eighth and won? Okay, I'll give him his due. He won the FA Cup, but he fluked the FA Cup. Let's get it right. We fluked.
Water break champion. That's what he was, the water break champion.
Because at the end of the day, if Chelsea hadn't had one of their best players go off through injury, I think, let's be honest, Sheffield United had 2 goals disallowed.
Yeah, by VAR for offside. If there weren't VAR in that game, they would have beaten us. Danny Ceballos' goal would have been irrelevant.
How can you say a player of his stature is washed up? I'm not having a pop, but if you're going to say that, give a reason. Yeah. Make a statement. Come back.
They support Arteta. That's why they support Arteta. So there's few people.
The guy in the chat just now said he's washed up. Well,
it's not just that, but we were in it before. Like, for instance, Mourinho struggled at Spurs. I'm in the mud because I want him at Arsenal. Simeone, if Man United beat Atletico Madrid, you're in the mud. You two in the mud because you wanted him. Then all of a sudden, people wanting Ancelotti, a multi-trophy winning manager in different leagues, not just in Italy, but in Spain as well, and in England for Chelsea. We're in the mud because he decided that Everton weren't for him, and he took the job back in Real Madrid. But we're in the mud. So apparently, Arteta's betting all these big names because they went to Everton, where basically, let's face it, they're running a bloody a theatre rep company rather than a football club there anyway, and they got a theatre impressionaro as their honorary chairman. But it's like a theatre rep company. But that doesn't matter because we've been proved right. We proved wrong because all the managers we wanted couldn't do well. Because if they failed at Everton and failed at Spurs or any other clubs, they're going to then it wouldn't be good enough for Arsenal.
But this is how dumb these people are, Kenny. Ancelotti left Everton, where apparently he had failed. Yeah. Listen, he didn't win anything, so he did, right? But at the same time, he then goes to Real Madrid, and he's currently sat top of the table. So this apparently washed up Ancelotti, one of the greatest managers I've ever seen in my life, right, is now washed, but he's going to win the league. Simeone, who won the league last season, and by the way, broke up the monopoly of the 2 biggest clubs in world football on a fraction of the money, right? A fraction of the money. TV revenue in Spain, 95% went to Real Madrid and Barcelona for years. The other 5% went to the other 18 teams, and he broke that dominance. He's won Europa Leagues. Yeah, he's won the Super League, Super Cup, I think, as well after winning the Europa League. Yeah, he's won the league twice. He's won Copa del Rey's. He turns shit to fucking gold real quick. And it is, if you look at his record before he went to Atletico Madrid, if you go and watch the documentary, anyone who thinks he's washed up, go and watch the Simeone documentary, come back and tell me how many trophies the guy won as a manager and as a player. And one of them was the league last season. So if he's washed up, then what the fuck is Arteta?
Yeah.
Because he won the league last season.
But you're gonna have to, but they're gonna say, Lee, now you're in Spain, you can go and support.
I'm getting it.
Madrid. You know what I mean?
I'm getting it.
It's the same sort of situation. You're never allowed to want, big standards for this football club. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is why I keep saying it all the time, lads. Yeah, this is the Wenger legacy. They're not the invincibles, not the doubles, not all of that. This is his legacy. Lowered standards that fourth is the be all and end all of this football club.
It's even much worse because what's happening now is that some of these fans who should know better, and they're saying, well, when I was in the 80s and 70s, which we were both, so you don't need to educate me. We remember, Arsenal used to be happy, like going into Europe,
Yeah, that's great.
Winning the league, like I said, we won in 1979. But it was a great time at the Arsenal, going to North Bank, going to the clock end. All those stuff. You guys have been spoilt. Well, of course we've been spoilt because guess what? The circle of life is when you give someone success, then you can't put the genie back in the bottle because what's happened? Success breeds success, and guess what? It breeds the hunger for success because of the standards. So you can't expect Arsenal fans to go back to the 70s and 80s when George Graham and Arsene Wenger rewrote the sleeping giant. It's too late to go back to the 70s and 80s. And
the thing is as well, I'm sorry to cut you off, Kenny. I think as well, if they hadn't smashed that stadium down on a fucking lie, we wouldn't be sitting here as fucking angry as we are because we'd still be playing at Highbury.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we're going, we know we can't compete. Let's just enjoy it.
But Lee, the damage was done before Highbury because everyone talks about all the problems started at Highbury. That last season at Highbury, we sneaked the fourth place on the last day of the season. So the standards after we won the league in 2004, were actually dwindling to the extent that the season afterwards we finished 12 points behind Chelsea. That was when the alarm bell should have been ringing. And then when we sold Vieira and built a team finally around Cesc Fabregas, that's when it weren't ringing. But we still, weren't on the ball. We weren't seeing what was right in front of us. We only realised that there was a decline at the football club when it was too late.
100%. Big up to Joel Linton as well. He said, Kenny Jez, do you know that the Newcastle loan has got 4% of the 2 trillion that they're worth extra given to them off the Saudi PIF, which the 4% equates to 80 billion pound or dollars, sorry. That's how much went into PIF the other week. 80 billion. If anyone thinks Newcastle are not serious, mate, think again. Yeah, think again. Yeah, and where was the other one I wanted to pin as well? Big up to Matt as well. Appreciate the love, Matt, as always. Big up to everyone watching, man. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are smashing the likes up as well. Arteta will attract the Malpies, Outdoors, and Ricky Van Wolfswinkles of the world. You're right. That's literally all he's attracting. Is any world-class player coming to play for him? No. Well, there you go. Sack him. I said this to judges the other day, right? I said, do you think he'll win the league? And he went, no. Well, sack him then. Because if you don't think he can win a title, why is he here? That should be the standard. Yeah, but the standard is not the standard because our fans have allowed it to be lowered, but because of Wenger allowing it.
We're trying to put the genie back in the bottle. We're trying to do what we did in the 80s, where it was accepted that the only teams that were going to win the league were Liverpool. And then even when there was a vacancy, then Everton had a couple of goes. Aston Villa won it once in 81. So basically what's happening is that our mantra was no different to what it is now. Oh, yeah, if we get a cup run and we get into Europe. I used to celebrate when I was a kid in the 80s, us Arsenal getting to Europe and have it over some of my mates or family members of Tottenham and said, right, we're in Europe, but you're not. Because coincidentally, both of us didn't fail to win a trophy during those times. We went 8 years without winning a trophy between 79 and 87. So in those sort of times, it was accepted that we all went to the Arsenal, win, lose, or win, draw, lose. Everyone on the booze, although I was too young to drink anyway, but that was a mantra. And that not what has changed. We've gone backwards because that's the mentality that we should never have. Of course, I want everyone to enjoy themselves and have a great time at the football. But winning and celebrating a win is a lot better than drowning your sorrows.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Listen, we are going to wrap this up in a second. Big up to everybody who's watched live. Well over 1,000 people still watching. So thank you very much for that. And I just wanted to pin this comment again. If Simeone was Simeone would get our current squad third and challenge for the title next season, top manager. I agree. I think any top manager with the squad that we had at the start of the season would have got us comfortably in top 4. Yeah. Then the following season, I'd expect them to challenge. And Simeone would do that. I think Tuchel would do that. Pep and Klopp would do that. We don't want to do that as a club.
That's the thing about people who are backing Mikel. They're saying that's going to happen. And they're trying to tell us to be patient, and that will happen. But there's no evidence
to suggest it, Kenny. He can't even beat fucking Villarreal.
Yeah,
it's only just about beat Sean Dyche.
Yeah, but we know that, as long as Arteta's here, there's going to be the odd victory, good, big win at home at Liverpool, probably a big win at home to Spurs. Well, we know that. We know all that, and we know that we might nick a point up in Man City once in a while, maybe nick a point against other big ones. We know that, but what we want, which we're not going to get, and I'm convinced we're not going to get, is the progress or a prelude to a challenge for the league, and that's what these guys are trying to tell us. That's going to happen. That's not going to happen under this manager. No way.
No, totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Anyone who thinks that is just holding this club back for another year or two. Yeah, and when he finally gets sacked, I don't want to see any of them in my chat ever again, if I'm honest. Yeah, I told everyone about this manager. We've all been telling everyone about this manager. The chat's been telling everyone about this manager. The only people that can't see it are people that are lying.
Let's go further. If he goes, I want Edu out, I want Vino out, and I want
100%.
And I want the Cronkies to, like I said, go to one of the countries where they have trillions of pounds and say, look, Arsenal's up for sale. That's what I want.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. Big up to Mitchell as well. Good work for Aubameyang on your hat-trick. Shame Arteta banned you. We have to look back at the good players he's fallen out with and got rid of. What mismanagement by the club if Arteta gets sacked next season. Yeah, 100%, mate. And listen, Aubameyang will smash it in Spain all day long. Yeah, we knew that. We all knew that. Play him down the middle. He's a striker. Ain't rocket science. I don't need to go and sit next to Pep and shine his head and put the cones out to know that Aubameyang is a number 9, not a fucking left winger. It's, I mean, he's only played left wing 11 times for Borussia Dortmund in 200 odd games. So why have we played him nearly 100 at left wing? Mad. Big up to Joel Linton for another donation as well. Big up to all of you. What's great about you guys is you all form your own answers and opinions and are not sheep that just follow what is fashionable. Thank you, man. And that's how it should be. Because we ain't trying to get our faces on TV or a red carpet or any of that crap, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's just about the good and great of this football club. It always has been. And everyone who's telling me in this chat, I've seen this a million times since I started this show. Aubameyang scored a hat-trick today. Fact. The third goal that Pedri scored, the goal that Pedri scored, the referee gave to Aubameyang. So it's a hat-trick. So it actually skimmed his head and went in. Yeah, and it was going on target. It skimmed his head. It was very similar to the Ericsson and Kane one. Yeah, well, I definitely got a touch. Yeah. But I don't care. I'm taking small victories right now. He got a hat-trick. It's actually official. Barcelona have put it out there. If you go and Google Barcelona, it'll come up Aubameyang hat-trick because the referee of that match...
Have you seen the goal? Have you seen the goal?
I haven't seen it, no. But everyone in the chat's telling me it skimmed off his head. So it must be... Listen, there's a few Barca fans in here. I'm sure they can tell everyone it's a hat-trick and it's not too.
There's a guy at Barca fan TV says it's hat-trick.
It is hat-trick. Yeah, mate. If I Google it right now, it comes up. Yeah, with if I could type in La Liga scores, it comes up. Valencia 1, Barca 4, Aubameyang hat-trick. Yeah, and Pedri, whoever got the other goal. Big up to Right Place, Right Time. This is all on KSC. They let Wenger stay too long. Hired Mikel, hired Edu, oversee our shit. I spat at my TV when Stan held his Super Bowl trophy. Bro, the whole thing's a shit show. It is. It really is. Yeah, and it's been a massive shit show for a long, long time, sadly, buddy. It's actually kind of sad. This comment made me laugh. That comment's fine. Big up, Troy. Appreciate it. Big up to everybody who's watching as well. Look at this joker in my chat as well. Tapping Tobes. Is that the real Tapping Tobes? No, it's not. It's not got a tick next to it. I don't think it is. I think I ticked him up. But anyway, listen, don't block him. I'll text him and then I'll block him myself later. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. Let's see who's live that we like. Should we see who's live that we actually like? We can send all the rats over to spam their chat. There you go. Go and show Dan Potts and Judges some love. I'm going to get their link. 1 second. Bear with me. Spam the granny out of their chat. Lee Gunner send me. What? 1 sec. I'll put the link in the chat. Sorry, I had to mute it, otherwise you'd hear the feedback. Right, Judges link is there. Go and spam his chat. Dan and Judges even. Go and spam the chat. Lee Gunner sent me.
Albert's on there as well. Albert's a good guy as well.
There you go. Big up to. Yeah, he has. Yeah. If that's the real Toby, then he'll text me, won't he? But anyway, I'm wrapping this up. Big up to you, Jez. Appreciate the love and coming on as always, mate. Always enjoy it. And same with you, Kenny, as well, mate. And next week,
I look forward to this podcast. I look forward to it because they're people from all walks of life and all backgrounds should be able to express their opinion on the football club. They should. Everyone should have a chance. And not everyone's the same. People. I'm sure there's an Arteta in person who would love to come on. I'm dying for someone who's Arteta in to come in and have a massive debate with us. Show themselves on either the fan cams, reveal themselves on the player range, and reveal themselves on here. And we'll chat like men.
Yeah, totally agree.
Totally agree.
It's not as though we're going to sit here and like, if somebody wanted to come here and have a talk and a debate about being Arteta in, okay, I respect that. Fair play. I respect anybody's opinion. It's not as though the three of us are going to sit here and slag them off. We just say, okay, fair play. Give us your reasons, whatever, and that's fair. That's a fair adult debate. But when you've got idiots that sit in the background and like make stupid comments and then don't come back with a decent argument, that is pathetic. If you've got something to say, everybody has the right to have a comment because it's a democracy.
Absolutely.
We're not in Arteta's state where it's a one-way street. He's arrogant. What Arteta says is that's it. So we're three grown adults who have an opinion, and we respect everybody else's opinion if you've got something to say in an adult fashion. So yeah, do it.
There you go. Big up Flozanelli in the chat. Big up to everybody who's watched this live as well, man. Everybody who's watching it on playback. Mad love from all you. Peaked at nearly 1,100 people as well, which is decent because there's other channels streaming as well. Apparently, everyone's saying that Judges and Dan's channel is restricted on chat, so they can't go and spam it. But there we go. The fault was there. We're out of here, people. I'll Arteta out.
You prick.